Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Tony Cueva Bravo. I'm the head of business development and strategy at Rebuild. I'm spearheading sales, partnerships, and strategic planning at the company. And today we're going to talk about a webinar called Unlocking Brazil and why US businesses need PIX. So in an hour, we want to outline why US businesses should integrate PIX to effectively tap into Brazil's growing market, right? So we learn how to streamline these transactions and expand your reach and your businesses within Brazil. So just a legal notice before we continue. This webinar is provided for informational educational purposes only and should not be constructed as a specific legal and finance or financial advice. While we strive to present accurate and up-to-date information, we don't guarantee specifically application and accuracy related to your individual situation or specific company circumstances. Then let's start with Rebuild. So Rebuild.com is a cross-border payments and subscription platform for global companies in Latin America. We offer more than 100 payment methods, from cards to alternative payment methods, such as digital wallets, bank transfers, and cash in 10 countries in the region. We help US companies process local payments, convert those funds into USD, and send them to their corporate bank account. So we actually have a lot of value proposition, but three of them is, as you can see in the slide and the presentation. We are really advocates about transparency within our culture and with our company. So every time that you make a transaction at Rebuild, we offer you the payment costs associated to those transactions. So there's no hiding fees, no hiding costs, no minimum fees regarding what we charge to our end user, our merchants. We value human customer support, so there's always going to be instant answer from a human, from our head of customer support, for a customer specialist. So there's no bot or automated support at the time. We think that human interactions are what is so important, relevant in this industry, and we want to maintain that quality. And finally, we have a really quick integration. So time to market for any company, especially in the US, is super critical. And for that reason, we want to accelerate your launch in Brazil specifically by using our user-friendly SDK and API designed for rapid deployment. So without further ado, let's start the webinar and talk about PIX. What is PIX actually? So PIX is an instant payment system, also known like real-time payment system. It's synonyms. Introduced by the Banco Central do Brasil, or the Central Bank of Brazil, which was officially launched in November 2020. So it enables users to make and receive payments in real time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including weekends and holidays. So the system is designed to work across all banking and financial institutions in Brazil, so making it universally accessible to anyone with a bank account, whether you are an individual or a business. So payments through PIX can be initiated using multiple identifiers, such as the taxpayer ID, which is commonly known as CPF or CNPJ in Brazil, persona jurídica, persona física, and then mobile phone number, email address, or a randomly generated PIX key. So the system is designed to be highly secure, leveraging end-to-end encryption to safeguard transaction data. So PIX support not only transfer peer-to-peer transactions or transfer between parties, but also other financial transactions like bill payments, like tax payments, etc., etc. So it was developed to be a faster, more efficient, and cost-effective alternative to traditional methods like bank transfers, which is commonly known in Brazil as TED or ANDOC, and card payments, because the card payments were actually high fees and it have a lot of requirements in Brazil to actually get one. So with that introduction of PIX, the Central Bank of Brazil aimed to increase financial inclusion. Okay, so to provide more context to our U.S. folks in the call, PIX is basically the equivalent to what is new release FedNow, right? They provide similar features. At a minimum cost. However, they have clear differences that are basically push and pull feature requests. The transaction size limit, which is basically non-existent in PIX and in FedNow is around 500K, and opt-in options for banks and financial institutions. It's mandatory for PIX that all banks and financial institutions are integrated within the system. However, for FedNow, it's an opt-in option. It's not mandatory, and it's just released on beta last year. So the increasing number of working organizations are getting started. And we need to take more data to validate that actually it's going to work and it's going to have the same adoption or similar adoption to PIX. FedNow was not the first one though. As you can see on your right side, Venmo and Zelle are the go-to solutions in the market. They were there way before FedNow. However, they had clear limitation, like the limits that is only peer-to-peer limits, like 500. So businesses don't use it. It's more like individuals sending money from each other. The technology, they use really low old-fashioned protocol, ACH. So it's really slow and it takes like 2 to 5 days, business days, to actually receive your money. And sometimes that could be really complicated. And the cost for Venmo, the cost of the payout is really high compared to the other alternative in the table. So that's why the feds create this new protocol FedNow as a new standard. The problem is that even though that all the standards in the US have a component that is our real-time payment system, or RTP. RTP transactions actually in the US consist of 0.9% of all the US financial transactions, which is only 15 million. If we make a comparison to PIX, real-time payments in Brazil actually consists of 60% of all Brazilian transactions. That's around 4 billion per month. So it's a way totally different. And the main struggle for FedNow, Venmo, and Zelle is the universally accessibility to the solution. And because it's optional, most of the time when something is optional, it's not well received. PIX adoption in the market, just to get a follow-on on that. So why PIX became relevant in the Brazilian market? So there was actually a wide adoption from PIX from the start. So PIX is now used by more than 140 million individuals, which is about 80% of the adult population, and 40 million companies, according to the Central Bank of Brazil statistics that are open source in their website. And this information is as March as 2024. The payment volume is actually super high. Payment volumes for PIX are 3.8 billion, surpassed for the first time those combined by debit and credit card payments just after 15 months of its launch, and now it is 23% more than those combined. The person-to-business transactions has grown rapidly within the last 2 years. Actually, is the fastest growing transaction within PIX. Are equivalent to 36% of all PIX transactions, reaching to $330 billion in total payment volume. The wide adoption of PIX in the commercial sector is for its efficiency and the cost benefit over traditional payment methods. And finally, in the e-commerce sector, PIX have claimed 16% of the entire LATAM's e-commerce volume in 2023, surpassing debit cards, which until now have the number 2 payment spot. That's unprecedented in the region, and even though PIX is just only available in Brazil and some countries like Argentina and Uruguay that are doing some beta testings, that's super important, relevant why PIX have become the go-to solution, the go-to payment actually in Brazil. So how we use PIX, how to pay PIX, like how the users actually receive PIX and adopt PIX so easily. And it was because of the UX experience that they provide. So basically, when you have an online purchase, you go to a checkout and choose PIX, and then it appeared 2 options, and we're going to explore the 2 options. The first option is going to be a PIX code. As you can see, the PIX code is going to appear on the checkout. You're going to copy that PIX code, and you're going to go to your mobile banking app, right? And within the mobile banking app, you're going to choose pay with PIX. When that happens, you copy and paste the PIX code, and then inside your mobile app, and then you confirm the payment. It's super easy. It's just only 4 steps, and that's why it was super adopted, because it was super easy to pay by PIX. And then the second option is when you also are in the checkout, there's a button says PIX, then a QR code appears or display on the screen, and then with your cell phone, you just scan the code, and the code confirms all the details and transactions displayed on your screen, and then you just pay super quickly the purchase that you're trying to do online. So the reason why here is just to answer this question, actually. Why should US businesses adopt PIX? So there's 4 reasons why we think that PIX should be adopted by US businesses. First and foremost, the low fees. So PIX is free for consumers, but merchants are charged very low fees compared to its counterparts, debit cards, which they charge 1%, and credit card, which charge in average 2.2%. So that level of cost is going to be super convenient for them, as they know that this is super. They're going to receive more money every time that someone is going to use PIX as a payment method. The transaction size flexibility. There is no upper limit on transaction size in PIX. So they can actually charge as high as possible and as low as possible as well. So this approach offers the system the flexibility to serve a diverse range of users, correct? Which like from individuals to large corporations. So typically they have different transaction requirements. They also have a real-time payment confirmation, which means is that they ensure the funds are available almost immediately. Yeah, I would say instantly. So facilitating like better cash flow for businesses and confirming transactions completion to all parties at the same time. So this for revenue recognition is super important because you receive your money earlier compared to debit cards or credit cards that are going to take on our times 30 days. Security. I think this is one of the reasons why actually is super important because since payments are made directly from the user's smartphone and the confirmation have biometric footprint, I think like PIX reduces the risk of fraud and protects sensitive financial information. So you don't need to put your bank account number or other type of financial information because it's always encrypted and you just need to use I'm sorry, some PIX keys, which is the identifier as an email, as the taxpayer ID, and so on and so on. Though this also benefits in terms of chargebacks because uh, you have more confirmation that the user have enabled this transaction instead of the opposite. And that's why the PIX adoption in Brazil market is so relevant because it becomes so relevant that three important companies in the tech sector added as a valid payment method in the country. So, for example, Amazon accepts PIX for its Brazilian version e-commerce. Uber accepts PIX for all its rights in Brazil, and Meta accepts PIX to purchase ads in its Facebook platform. So all these juggernauts, incumbents, has accept that PIX will increase the revenues, PIX will increase its adoption, its tech adoption within the country, and it also enables them to become more closer to their audiences as they start accepting local payments in Brazil. So to start using PIX, we are, as I mentioned before, a cross-border payment platform. We are connected with PIX. So how does it work on a paying perspective? So consumer using PIX have a bank account or a wallet tied to its PIX credential. As you can see, the consumer has a local bank or a wallet that is tied to the PIX credentials, which is the instant payment system or SPI in Portuguese. And this database is going to actually have all the credentials that are going to be supported for transaction online. So at Rebuild, we actually enable merchants to use us and show PIX at the checkout. So they don't need to do any heavy lifting. They just connect to Rebuild. And with Rebuild, we can enable PIX at the checkout. So the consumer who is really comfortable when paying with PIX, they use PIX at the checkout, and then we validate transaction on the backend. Correct? So what are the benefits of paying by PIX or with PIX at Rebuild? It's a quick settlement. Usually transactions are instantly, and we available those settlements within a day. You have a higher payment acceptance rate. Usually, there are because PIX has a valid protocol, robust technology. The prone to errors are really minimal, almost less than 0.5% or 1%. So usually you have really high payment rate acceptances. That's why everybody's using it and everybody should adopt it. And there's a low risk of chargeback because the confirmation, as I mentioned before, is with a personal information. The user have a lot of biometrics footprints within the PIX keys. So that actually enables less risk of chargeback. And we also have an offer which is payouts. So in this case, merchants want to send money, local money, in this case, reais, to Brazilians or to third parties in Brazil. So in order to do so, they use Reveal to send massive or mass payouts to their targets, right, to the consumers that they want. In that case, they use our platform. We have a setup, and the setup just send the PIX credentials. So we enable the PIX credentials. We charge the credentials, and then we send the money to them immediately. What is the benefits of using payouts at Reveal? Basically, the funds are credited immediately. So it happens that when you send the money, it's usually a T plus 0, and because we know that the transactions are going to be local, so it's much easier. And then the mass payments at once, we can have like 300 payments all at once, and that's super convenient. And sometimes you don't want to do it one by one. There's a prone to error when you want to do this manually, so it's convenient to do it as the way the Reveal states. And then finally, there's a localized experience that the end users receive reais in PIX. So in that reason, they have provide better service, and they are more happy to receive that money in their most used payment method. Finally, I encourage you guys that our PIX solution is ready for you. There's no need for local entity. You don't need a Brazilian entity to actually start using PIX. You can use your US entity, and that's going to be enough in order to provide the service, right? So you can connect PIX via checkout or API. And as you can see, we have a productive version on the right side. We provide not only the QR code that is they can be scanned with your cell phone, but also we provide a PIX code on the right hand. So you can copy that and also go to your mobile banking, whatever you're comfortable with. It's super easier to set up, and the time to market for us is super important. So that's why we can actually make a swift integration with your solution and make it available to you super quickly. Start now by creating a Reveal account. I encourage you guys to sign up now at my.reveal.com/sign up. This is super important. We want to hear from you. How can we enable PIX to your platform, to your solution, to your SaaS, to your company, and that open up opportunities in the Brazilian market. So we are enablers for you guys to actually increase your revenue stream in Brazil, to actually make Brazil a relevant market for your Latin strategy. And I think Reveal is that platform for you guys. So without further to say, I really appreciate your time, guys. This was an amazing webinar. Hope that you guys have a clear understanding of why PIX is so relevant for US businesses. And if you guys have any questions or any doubts, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to actually get to know each other. You guys have if you want to actually reach out directly, you guys can do it by send me an email to Reveal at Tony@rebuild.com. I'm more than happy to answer your questions and any doubt that you might have. We have one comment from Omar Castillo. It says, hey, Tony, nice to see you are related to PIX. Brazil is definitely leading global payments. Let's talk to understand what you're doing. Of course, Omar, thank you so much for reaching out. More than happy to connect offline after the webinar. Super happy to actually reach out to any of you guys that have attended. We are happy to be the neighbors in the Brazilian market. And if you have any questions, as I mentioned before, don't forget to send me an email, or on the contrary, you can sign up right now on my.rebuild.com/sign up. Thank you so much once again. Hope you have a lovely afternoon, and see you guys on the next time.